Controls here from 8Dio, and in this video I'm going to be taking another unconventional look at our super unconventional Blendstrument. In this video I'm only going to be focused on our reversed patch. We actually took the entire Blendstrument and created a reversed edition of it as well. So everything you're going to be hearing, unlike the other videos, is going to be reversed in this video, and it really generates even more results. So if you didn't think that the infinity proportion of the Blendstrument itself was enough, well, you can actually reverse it as well. So without further ado, let me just go right into it right now. I'm going to start using the chaos buttons down here. So this is actually the Lord of the Rings of absolute randomization and chaos. You click this button and everything in the entire library is going to get randomized. This thing down here is only going to affect the global effects parameters, and this guy down here actually cleans the whole thing up. It just resets all the values for the global effects. So when you see me click the buttons, this guy here controls everything, the effects, all the instruments, all that stuff. This one just controls the global effects parameters, and this is our reset button. So let's get going. Okay, so I almost feel like sometimes it's like tuning to a radio stations like old school. You're just saying, man, I don't like that channel. Oh, there's too much noise in that. Oh, that sounds great. But as you can see, I'm really using this button down here to sculpt entirely new reverse soundscapes. This guy down here only affects the global parameters, and this guy cleans it up. And I love using the reset function down here. It really just helps, gives more like, oh, this is actually what it sounds like in its core state. Let's try another round of it. This time around, I'm going to play a little more around with our rhythmic convolutions as well, and dabble a little more with the effects here, and then we'll get a little more into the advanced mode afterwards. And if you want, pay attention to the timer down here. I'm actually just activating, so you can see that everything here is happening in real time, and the way I'm sort of dialing through the radio stations is just a matter of like dial through a few ones, do a couple of changes here, and all of a sudden you have like something beautiful you've never heard before. That's a really good example. I mean, just throughout that 1 minute, I found like 3-4 soundscapes that I thought was absolutely beautiful. And of course, everything is tempo synced as well. You can probably hear there's a rhythm. We're running at 120 BPM right now. The rhythmic convolutions actually are also tempo synced. And I'll demonstrate that a little deeper as well. But this is really how quickly it works. You can see it's real time here. I'm just clicking through the radio stations of Randomize. And the most amazing thing is that you'll never ever be able to dial in the same result. Every time you do something, it's going to be different. And now we've even reversed the whole thing. So it's even more crazy. Let me try to unlock the advanced mode here, which also unlocks our panorama feature here. So as you may know, the library has a certain architecture. You have the core groups of instruments here that each have 5 different core banks, that each have 40 variations, that each have 5 layers each. So it's an enormous amount of material. There's about 11 gigabytes of compressed material, but because of the sample design, the whole architecture of the library, both at a script level, at a sample level, and the way we manipulate the sample parameters, there is an infinite amount of options and possibilities you can do. And panorama here actually takes, let's say we have a single sound here, the violin one. If I unclick the stack function randomization here, they would only be playing this sound here. It actually has 5 different sample variations, and if I start the panorama here, it's actually going to take these 5 different variations of this one sample and pan them differently, tune them differently, put volume on them differently. So if you can see me click here, it's going to randomize that as well. And the parameters out here actually allows you to randomize the individual parts. We have 2 parts, which means that the library is actually loaded within itself 2 times. And up here you have a global sort of chaotic device. In the same sense we have it down here, but it only works for the one part here. And of course you have that for this guy over here. The single instance down here means that you retain the same sound, but you actually kind of manipulate the 5 different variations of that sound as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's take another round of reversed randomization here. And I'll start manipulating some of the panorama stuff here as well, so you can really hear like what happens once you start getting so many layers of the same samples and sample variations and different things together. And also play a little around here with the global effects. And I'm also going to dabble a little bit with our pod system down here. This is actually a pulsing device that allows you to take both pods and pulse between them. So when the mix is down here, they're obviously playing at the same time, but the more you dial in the mix, the more pulsing you get, particularly if you start using pan and speed here, you're going to be pulsing between the 2 different pods. It really allows you to do even more rhythmic sculptures with the library as well. But enough of me talking, let's just dive right into it. So yeah, that's another little example of what you can do with a reversed Blendstrument as well. I should also mention that you can actually right click on all these things here. Let me try to do that here for our last example. Let's go a little deeper into the Rhythmic Convolutions. You're going to see me right click and write the parameters here. You can actually automate all these things. So let's say I want to assign this to my MIDI control here, or this thing to my MIDI control here. You can actually control them and assign as many as you want. You can also do it up here for the panorama. So if you really want to get crazy on your controls, you can assign them to individual controls as well. So let's say I only want to control this or all these guys right now. You can do that as well. So there's an infinite amount of controller manipulation as well. So let's take one last dip into the reverse Blendstrument, and I'll try to demonstrate some of the rhythmic convolutions here on top of all the other stuff as well. So yeah, keep an eye out for the next videos. Again, these videos are completely freestyle. I don't really know what's going to happen when I make them. And I think that's the beauty of the instrument. You load it and you never know what's going to happen. So there's always something new. And that's the core premise of this library. It's an inspirational device, if you will.